are the same patterns showing up in your life over and over again, just disguised as something new. Different faces, different situations, yet the story somehow plays out the same way. You leave one job because of a toxic boss, and the next one ends up draining you just as much. You walk away from one relationship that leaves you exhausted, and your next partner triggers the same wounds all over again. That's not coincidence, that's a sign. Life has a funny way of repeating the message until you finally get it, and the more you ignore it, the louder it gets. In this video, we're going to talk about the signs you might be missing, why your patterns keep repeating, and how to finally hear what life is trying to tell you before it has to shout. Let's get started. Let's get this straight. Signs aren't random coincidences. They're energetic feedback. They're your inner world showing up in your outer world. You attract what matches your vibration. Not what you say you want, but what you actually are. At first, the signs are subtle. You get a quiet feeling in your gut, a thought that says, that doesn't feel right. Someone might casually say something that hits a nerve. Maybe your body starts tightening every time you think of a certain situation. That's the whisper. That's life trying to tell you that something's off. But most people brush it off. We rationalize. We tell ourselves, it's fine, I can handle it. And so the signs get louder. And before you know it, what was a quiet whisper becomes a full-blown breakdown in your job, in your relationships, or your health. It's like when your car makes a strange noise. You can ignore it at first and keep driving, but that rattle isn't going away. And if you still ignore it, well, you're calling a tow truck on the side of the highway, wondering why, yet again, your life is falling apart. Repeating patterns are simply lessons that haven't yet been integrated. They're like a loop in your energy field. The same theme keeps replaying until you shift your frequency. You can't outthink these patterns because they're not mental, they're energetic. That's why you can change your environment, your job, your partner, and even your country, and still find yourself facing the same situation. And it's not punishment, it's curriculum. The universe doesn't want to hurt you, it wants to help evolve you. For example, imagine you have a deep-seated belief that you're not valued. At first, you might attract a boss who takes you for granted. You leave the job thinking, I'm never letting anyone treat me like that again. But months later, you find yourself doing favors for a friend who doesn't reciprocate. Different person, same energy. That's the pattern trying to get your attention. It's saying you're still vibrating at the frequency of not valued. Shift that belief and your external reality will shift too. Until then, the universe keeps recycling scenarios to give you another chance to choose differently. Now let's talk about the deeper layer, the life lesson behind the pattern. Every soul comes into this lifetime with certain lessons it wants to master, like boundaries, trust, patience, forgiveness, or stepping into your own power. Think of these life lessons as classes in your soul's curriculum, and every repeating pattern is just a pop quiz you keep failing, not because you're bad at life, but because you haven't yet understood what the lesson is trying to teach you. If your life lesson is about boundaries, you'll keep meeting people who test them until you learn how to say no without guilt. If your life lesson is about patience, life will keep you waiting until you learn to trust divine timing instead of trying to control the outcome. And if your lesson is forgiveness, life will keep showing you people or situations that trigger resentment until you learn that holding on only keeps you stuck. So when something keeps repeating, stop asking, why is this happening to me? Instead, you need to ask yourself, what is this trying to teach me? That one question shifts you from being the victim to the creator of your reality. Because once the lesson is learned, the pattern disappears. Not because life suddenly got easier, but because you finally graduated that part of your energetic curriculum. There's a clear escalation that happens when we ignore the signs. Something feels off. You sense it, but you can't quite name it. Maybe you feel restless, drained, or uneasy. Most people override this stage with logic or denial. You start to get irritated, frustrated, or anxious. You think other people are the problem. But what's really happening is that your soul is knocking louder. Now the energy manifests externally. Conflict, financial stress, health issues, and breakups. It's the same energy, just turning up the volume so that you can't miss it. This is the universe saying, "You're not getting it. Let me make it undeniable." This could look like burnout, a serious illness, or a major life collapse. It's not to punish you, it's to awaken you. And honestly, we've all been there. You ignore the gentle nudge to slow down, and then you get sick and have to rest. You ignore the feeling that your relationship is done, and then it blows up. That's the energy saying, you wouldn't make the change, so the change was made for you. The secret is to catch the whisper before it becomes a shout. That's what energy mastery is really about, tuning into your energetic field before life has to do it for you. Start by checking in daily. You can ask yourself, where am I resisting change? What am I pretending not to know? If something feels off, don't just rush to fix it. Sit with it. Feel it in your body. Your body is a direct translator of energy. Contraction means resistance. Expansion means alignment. When you notice contraction, that's your sign. That's your energy saying something here needs attention. In that moment, you can either keep ignoring it and guarantee a louder lesson, or pause, breathe, and ask, what is this trying to teach me? The faster you face it, the softer the lesson becomes. Here's the truth. The universe doesn't repeat lessons because it's cruel. It repeats them because your soul is determined to grow. Every sign, every pattern, every breakdown, it's all energy trying to evolve you into your next level. When you listen early, you shift faster. You save yourself pain, time, and chaos. Because when you master your energy, life doesn't have to scream to get your attention. It can whisper and you'll still hear it. And if this message on repeating patterns resonates with you, you're going to love my Energy Mastery course, where I share with you how to recognize your energetic patterns, as well as other core energy topics that will help you understand, manage, and ultimately master your own energy so you can create real, lasting change from within. You can watch a short video I made for my free Energy Mastery introduction. It gives you a glimpse into how this work can completely shift the way you understand and work with your own energy. Because when you learn to work with energy instead of against it, life starts to flow. Signs turn into guidance, challenges become breakthroughs, and that's when everything starts to align. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, take care, trust the whispers, and always stay inspired.